We for sure work with and we work with adults, but there is a specific track when we work and experiment and educational experimentation with kids and teens. Because we found that design thinking is something specifically valuable for those who will soon come effective adults in working processes and in strategic activities in companies or doing their own projects. How to help them in this way? I hope I can answer in a couple of slides, Father. So very nice to meet you all, and I'm really happy to be at the post-institutional Café. I regard this one of the main trends of the educational development, when the education and learning processes escape from the traditional institutions, escape from the schools, and escape from something which frames them and which really often doesn't support the creativity and doesn't support the creative confidence in kids and teens and specifically in adults as well. So I'm forlorn in design thinking, and I'm a big fan of this tool. So I'll be around design thinking because by this hashtag, by this phrase, there is a big world for me and for my team about how to work creatively and how to work successfully. So design thinking, and just a couple of words about our center. There is a non-commercial foundation. We were founded in 2018 together with our German colleagues. And our aim here is to unite Russian practitioners with international community of design thinkers. We really try to build up human-centered processes for everyone who would like to join in. There is a specific place which was created together with Steelcase and our colleagues in the United States, architects Georgetta McAvey, who was creating the D-School space in Stanford. So there is a little bit of West, a little bit of Europe in Moscow. Here is the place where kids and teens also have their master classes. It's really inspiring, and when they come in, they say, "Wow, how much light and how much sun in here!" So really, we're all happy when kids are coming to us. For this year, so we had more than 8,000 visitors and 4,000 students, both in our online and offline courses, and we conducted more than 400 projects on the right reasons. There is a user experience academy and design thinking camp, a world get together we do annually, and also we do innovation accelerators, and we invite teams to join companies initiatives and governmental initiatives in order to make the world a little bit better. And we regard design thinking as a mindset, a method, and for sure a hashtag for me to find proper knowledge about human-centered experience and about human-centered processes of making products and services. And for sure, it's a number of constantly evolving tools to create human-centered decisions. So actually, put it simple, is a contemporary and highly competitive approach of how to do great human-centered work. This is the key point about which I'll follow my slides of presentation further. So we decided to open up a D-Teens. D-Teens is a lab and a series of courses. It's not like a regular school. We do courses by the right time and by the right groups. If we join forces with some kids and teens institutions and educations in order to do something special. So here you can see kids playing on the fruits. There is a specific construction point with semiconductors when you touch the fruit, and you can hear the different music notes. So when we started to work with kids, we understood that there is a key point in learning processes and in schools, which constitutes and is a sign of a basic problem of learning process in schools and institutions. Kids and teens really ask us questions about working process. When we're talking to them about the design thinking is a way, an approach about working, and that it will help you to work. We've seen in their eyes that there is some kind, not a clear understanding of what work is about, some strategic activity, some activity at all, which is effective and efficient. which they look when they see their parents, for example, working, or some other people working. So they were asking us what work is all about, how to work effectively, what do we work for, what does it mean working. And there is really a big problem with schools, because if we take public school review for 2022, research numbers say to us that 85% of college students are afraid of new tasks and tasks. 78% believe that schools doesn't prepare for real life, and 65% desire more demanding and interesting courses. It's really a problem. Schools are far away from real life. Schools are far away from working. But what's the key purpose of education if we ask ourselves? Because as adults and as professionals, we already know that there is the only one main reason, maybe like the highest, the most objective of the education is about to prepare for real life. Because why we educate people if they are not prepared for real life? Why we educate our kids if they are not prepared to work? Is students come to work and they don't understand how the effective and efficient working processes look like. And many companies are really suffering from the time and efforts and the investment they have to make to those who come from colleges, to those who come from the first courses of the universities or pre-university educational institutions, because this already, like, these kids and these guys really look like adults, but they don't understand how to work successfully. Taking in mind that working modes are really switching really fast from time to time. New ideas and new mindsets are coming at the scene, like design thinking, like agile, like lean, many other approaches which help to make a job and help to make work in the companies more contemporary and more comprehensive. So how to help this, how to change it? The more the schools are with us, the more the institutions are with us, it doesn't change. The more the schools become digitalized, the more the schools become more contemporary, the more the learning plans became more sophisticated. The numbers are still with us. It's the freshest public school review we can see, and look at the first number. Most of those who were respondents in this research are really afraid of new tasks. It does mean that when they confront a new task in their job or in their work, their first reaction is to be afraid. So they're afraid of new tasks coming to them. It's a really frightening number, because everything which we face and which we see in our real working life every day is connected to some new tasks and some new circumstances coming into us when we have to do something. So most kids and most college students are really afraid of doing something new. It's not about innovations. This number is really frightening. Schools doesn't prepare for real life. Yes, more courses should be more demanding, and there is also a big question, still a big question. So there is a big gap between school and work and real life. We noticed when we started to work with teens and kids. The courses we started to do as labs gave an opportunity for kids since 8 up to teens to 14 come to us and experiment with the right tools in the mode of design thinking. We have challenges from the right non-commercial institutions. For example, when we're talking about animal helping animals, or when we're talking about helping elderly people and other projects, initiatives which kids and teens might take part. This is a real picture of how we work at Design Thinking Center, and kids are just making their focus and working after the interview. They're just focusing on the insights. It's really about a design thinking process which gives them most contemporary tools in order to start thinking and start doing as professional workers and understand what work is it about. Through design thinking, kids and teens meet mental models and mental operations and activity strategies, which will have to practice when they come to first work in themselves. It's about empathizing. The whole process starts and concentrates about empathizing with people, because this is to my mind, this is the concentrated focus of the working process, because many adults are like us, having a lot of working tasks, having really a lot of daunting tasks maybe, and often we are forgetting about the true objective, the core purpose of the work, like the core purpose of education is making something good for people. What are you doing? I'm making something good for people. And if we were asking our students, our younger students, to give a complex definition of what work is it for them, they were really a little bit frustrated about it, because they didn't know what to say. What does it mean working to do some things? It was the main definition we've heard. So working is about to do some great things for the people. It was some kind of a great enlightenment and insight for our younger students. So empathizing, definition, ideation, tools for prototyping, idea of the testing. Wow, I have to test something I've done in order to save resources. It's about implementation techniques, and mindsets and mental operations like understanding, exploring, and materialization. All this process became for them like a skeleton of the real working process they'll be meeting up when they come into projects with companies, or when they just come to work for their first time. So it was some kind of a sense of working and strategic activity for them. So design thinking process equals working process in our experiments with younger students. See how we work? According to Jean Litka, in her new book, Experience in Design, doing, when we do something, drives experiences that drive personal transformation. And our aim when we experiment with kids away from the school, in a very friendly space of Design Thinking Center in Moscow, we try to drive personal transformation. We would like to our students feel the immersion when they gather data, because they immerse in an experience and other people, and it's a concentrate immersion of the world all around. We teach them the processes of sense making when they identify insights. We help them to do alignment when they establish design criteria for the new products and services they are inventing due to their tasks. There is a process of emergence and imagine and learning in action, which we support and facilitate with the tools we have at the center and all around, in order to give them like a fuel for our creative process and fuel for their work. During this process, kids have an opportunity to feel different roles and to understand their selves better. Wow, it was so unlike the school is the basic quote after the program finishes. And the one quote which we met very often is: the school tasks are not our dreams. The key thing with strategic activity and with any process of doing with kids and teens is really about a strong driver which pushes them to do the task, to follow the steps, to make the task, to do it up to the end, up to the really effective final of something, what they do, to solve the brief completely. Many kids and teens really feel stressed to go and to feel the brief completely. They might start, but then they lose their interest and they not go further. We help them to find their dreams in what they do, because when we look at the activity cycle, the intuitive activity cycle with the kids and teens, we see that the strategic activity starts from the dream. Kids and teens can't do something that forces them to do something without a dream. They often said that what they do in schools is not their own dreams, is the dreams and tasks from other people, from teachers, from parents, from anyone, but not from them. They dream about something else. So the key thing during our courses was to ask our students what do they dream about and help them to move the way and to make steps alongside with their dreams. So if we ask kids to do something they don't dream about, they will do it, but this will be a forced action to them. This will be no interest with them, no driver. But if they dream something about, and we help them to make this dream a reality, they are really very much effective workers. This is that drives them far and far and far away. So the activity cycle, the intuitive activity cycle of the kids and teens starts from dream. Then it comes to an intention. Oh, I'd like to do something because I have this dream. And the next step is ideas about how to start from. What are the first steps about? First step, iteration, and further steps and actions. The key problem with the teens' dreams, with the kids' dreams, is about that we are not ready often as parents or as tutors. We are not ready to support them. Each of us is an individual person who has its own dreams. So there is unlikely you'll find someone with the same dream in a class, in a school class, in a school group. And this what brings them far away from their dreams, and which puts their dreams aside of the learning process, which is very, very damaging for the ability and for desire and for the creative confidence of the kids. They lose the faith of the school, they lose the faith of the learning process because they can't realize their dreams here. So I think the key question for the post-institutional education is about how to help dream their dreams, and how might we help to start dreaming and to come from dreams to action for our kids and teams. It's about individualization for sure, and for sure it's about finding their own group, finding their own nation, so to say, where other kids or other students are dreaming the same dream. So why teens need design thinking? By saying design thinking, we're talking about the working process, the contemporary and highly competitive working process. There's only one key answer to get creative confidence in what they do. Because the main reason why they don't understand what the work is, what do they work for, they don't realize their dreams, is they feel pressure and they are not confident in what they do. So creative confidence is a self-belief in one's own abilities supported by the previous positive experiences. When kids and teens say, I can do that, it's a great task. When they look forward for the new tasks, compare it with the numbers on my previous slides from the public schools review, that about 85% of college students are really afraid of new tasks. No, we have to switch this perception towards the innovation. It's a great task. Every new task they have an opportunity to find their driver in and to follow their dream. My team supports me. It's also about creative confidence. I'm not afraid of failure. No one will blame me. These all quotes are like visual representations of what creative confidence is and how it is being inside our students, how it's been flourishing, how it starts to become stronger. So as for the complex of tools about design thinking, it's really a complex of tools, tasks, and exercises aimed to form conscious choice and build one's own strong position in a strategic activity and work. It's not about teaching kids to do tasks which go aside their dreams. It's about helping them to realize their dream, to feel strong with their dreams, not too afraid of their dreams and of the first steps they have to do, but to facilitate the process of dreaming big and to give them tools and instruments and the mindsets and mental models of how to make it real, how to be strong, active workers, how to build their own strategies. Because as we noticed, kids since 8, they are really strong in their vision. The vision is the core value they have. And everything we have to do is to help them to go through the core vision. So I can summarize that we noticed that design thinking is important for kids and teenagers in 3 things. To find one's predestination. When we talk about predestination, is about complex understanding of one's own abilities, skills, both psychological and physiological strengths and weaknesses which constitute personal position in a teamwork. It's not about some God's predestination when we come to this world with some identity or some idea of what we should do in life. No, it's about seeing myself with the eyes of others in a teamwork and create value for other people, because others see us as a great visualizer. Others in a teamwork see us as a great visionary. Others see us as a great engineer, because I can do things, I can complete them. Others see us as someone, as a producer, as someone who's pushing forward, who is investing its energy inside. It's a complex, actually, about predestination. It's a complex answer to a simple question: how might I help? Now I understand how might I help. And through our experiments at Design Thinking Center with kids and teens, we understood and we gave this creative confidence to our students. Now they have the answer: how might I help? They answer: I can draw. When I have a position in a teamwork, I can draw. If they have a task and there is a group of 4 to 5 to 7 kids or teens, and everyone who got through our courses now has an immediate answer about what's your position. I'm a great producer. I will help to organize the group work. The other kid, the other girl says, I'm a great visualizer. I had a very positive experience of visualizing the prototype on the previous course. I will do that. So they finally, and all these kids, when they came to our Design Thinking Center before, they had no idea about what are their strengths, what is their predestination, or the view of their very strong things, their strengths from other position. So design thinking is really important in the second point, to build self-identification. Now they can identify themselves. If they identify themselves like visualizers, like producers, like engineers, it's not for life. It's just their starting point in building their creative confidence and in building up their skill, which they see is really valuable by others in a teamwork, on the road, on the really high road to their adult activities. They might be engineers, they might be writers, they might be scientists. This is not a barrier, because we had talks with parents, and they were really fascinated by how their kids felt creative confidence in what they do in the activity cycle, but they were really a little bit afraid. If my girl says that she is a visualizer in teamwork, would it be a blocking experience for her for other experiences I would like to grant her? No, for sure not. But this is something which is really a strong point, a cornerstone for building up self-identity and goal setting as a third point, in which we've seen design thinking tools and methods the most valuable contribution to the growing of kids and teens during our courses. Now, like adults then can set the goals. They can say, no, mother, I don't want to go to that activity. For example, you signed me on for in my school, or you signed me on for in any place, like a training or education. I'd like to set the goal connected to my dream. I would like, for example, to start learning to draw manga. I would like to start making video games, because I play video games. Oh, I never played them, but I've tested it in Design Thinking Center, and I felt the strength And I'm really confident. So talking with parents, we also got the feedback that our kids started to say no more often to us, because now they understand their strength more strongly. And it was a really positive thing. When we were talking with parents, we were helping them to understand that this is all very, very positive. So this is how we do, how we work. Finalizing my presentation, the value of design thinking to teenagers, we can put 5 points. It gives understanding of how to work together and the idea of work, gives clear purpose of working process, work for people's good. The second point is really valuable for and insightful for many adults as well, not only for kids and teenagers. When we work together with the adults, we understand that many people don't understand why do they work for, that they work for people's good. It teaches human-centered tools and approaches, and it helps to find identity in a team and find one's own predestination. So it also helps to set the goals and follow them. It helps to start real work with which we were really happy about, that we felt and we've seen the transformation of our young students. We'll be having in Global Design Thinking Festival in October 12-14, joining us together with the Global Design Thinking Festival in these days. If you have an experience, and follow us on LinkedIn. We also have on LinkedIn, but not that active. However, we have a small page on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. It was really, I'm really grateful for inviting me to this great event and Document and Post-Institutional Cafe. Thank you, Jorge.
Thanks to you, Maria. It's been a great presentation. It's been really nice, and this is great news. The post-institutional idea is really in design thinking, and really touching, like the future generations. I'm wondering, Ludwig, if you have any comments or questions for Maria. I saw you taking notes all the time.
I just want to know how long are the kids in your center? Do you do courses, and how long are they?
The courses are from 1 week to 1 month.
Okay.
If it's 1 week, it's an intensive course, and then come to like a summer camp, for example, each day, and they have like an intensive, like a design sprint for 5 to 7 days. And if there is a month, they come to us twice a week.
Mm-hmm. And do you do longitudinal, long-term studies? Because all the findings you're sharing with us, I wonder on what point are you taking these findings? So follow them up in a longer time?
Well, we at the Design Thinking Center in Moscow, we don't have a longitudinal programs, but we help schools and support the classes when we see for a year, for example, if it's a 5th grade or 6th grade kids, teens of about like K-12 in the United States, the classes, and the groups from the schools come to us, and we see the evolution during the year.
My experience in school is that like these effects of a workshop, they go away very fast, because the surrounding, the context the kids are living in, the power of the parents are so strong. So there's a question mark on the findings you have in the long run.
Yes. Well, actually, there's a complex insights about what we've done, and we were trying to give the tasks for the kids who come from the schools. If there is a longitudinal collaboration of the school and between Design Thinking Center, and we were trying to give them individual trajectories, individual tracks in order to follow their dreams. So they really were not working in a class system or in the groups. They were accustomed to work in a school, and we were trying to give them the briefs from variety partners, non-commercial partners with which we work for, in order to give them a track. And they were forming a group according to the dreams, according to the ideas they have, for example, about animals, or about helping people, or about helping the nature and other things. So they were free to choose.
I understand that this is like part of a process of transforming the systems. Like right now, there is a strong system everywhere in the world, and then initiatives like the Design Thinking Center working with the kids. It starts, having like a side parallel space that gives them like oxygen, right? And then it starts creating this space that may grow in the future. So I see this post-institutional era coming from outside the systems, and somehow, contaminating the system, creating questions inside the system. So maybe in the midterm, schools can adopt or have, for example, a longer or a more solid, let's say, relationship with the center or any other organization that is like all the examples we have here, that can have, like a different collaboration or a different dialogue with the system to transform it.
Yeah, but I mean, we know from psychology that especially in learning, the relationship is very important. So, I mean, I really like what you're doing, and no doubt, and it's great. But I think it can be better, because schools have the advantage. You have a school teacher who's building a relationship with the kids, and who can also, like, if he has time and is a good mentor, can also intervene in their personal problems, because they have problems they can't learn. So, that's the thing with these short-term interventions. And it could be better if there's a longer mentorship with children. But there's a question, yeah.
It's a great idea. Yes, thank you for this. Thank you.
Katia, did you welcome first, Katia? How are you today? I understand you have a question.
Hello, good morning. Hello, Maria. Hello, Jorge, and friend, partner. I don't know your name. Ulrich, is it Ulrich?
Ludwig.
Ludwig, yeah, hello. So Maria, really interesting speech. Especially I like the part about the teenagers, because I think for kids, there's a lot of experimentation with new educational forms. But what I notice is who is suffering more looking for identity and other problems, not only in during COVID pandemic, but in generally, are teenagers. And if we look to theater, for example, or to other kind of cultural offers, it's always for kids. It's a lot of programs for kids, but not for teenagers. So I'm asking myself frequently, is it because teenagers don't want to come, or is there no offer? Or is it so? My question here is how you attract teenagers to come, because children, of course, the parents inscribe them in whatever, because the parents are conscious and want them to have different kind of input. But with teenagers, it's not so easy. So I would be really curious how you get the teenagers in your place. And okay.
Well, actually, it's about a little bit about the hype, because teenagers like the hype. They like the big brands, for example, and we attract them with what they would like to be attracted, for sure. It's about big brands. It's about some creative space, because they see there are creative spaces here in Moscow all around, and there is some kind of a top level or VIP position when you are at some creative hub or do something, and we invite them into creative hubs. We also invite them with the partners, with brand name partners. They would like to work. For example, we had a project with Nike. They were 13 people for one place in this program who would like the teenagers participate in the program with Nike. It really drives experiences and many other things. And when they come, they're really like pre-fascinated by the place. They say, wow, it's really interesting. So they are ready to listen. If for the next step, we'll be making the same failure as schools say what we've done, what we have to do. So we asked them the next step with what do they dream about? And this was the question which they forgot, because if they are kids, this question is being asked often. What are you dreaming to be? of what's your dream. But when they're teenagers, no one asks them, and it's really bad because like feel close with their dreams and they have no opportunity to participate. They say, I would like to dream about this something, and there are lots of things they are dreaming about, and we help them when we say, guys, we have tools for you to realize their dreams. First, they don't believe. But then when our facilitation team starts to help them, starts to share the cases we've done with the companies like Volkswagen, like, for example, Leroy Merlin, many other companies like Nike, for example, they say, wow, it's really possible. So everything we are dreaming of might be done. And we help to do them their way. But it's all about hype.
Okay. We have
Thank you.
another question from Johan Dixon here.
Thank you for your presentation. Now, it seems to be that you want to prepare people for the workplace through these workshops. Now, I work in one of these workplaces, and it's not very cool, actually, because yes, maybe you're lucky to work for Nike or Google or Apple, these big brands that have a big budget and a lot of investment. And a lot of shareholders thinking, oh yes, in the future they're going to pay us more and more money, and you know how much money floods into Google, even though it doesn't really make a profit. How much money goes into Apple and blah blah blah, because it really doesn't make a profit, but they think in the future it will. But for a lot of people in the workplace, they end up at a company that talks all the talk that you're talking right now about, oh yeah, design thinking, great ideas, creativity, wow, bang bang. But because the investors particularly interested, they wanted to show a profit very soon, and because the company's not very big and maybe it's not taking over the world, it's not a unicorn, an einhorn, then your job is actually like being at school. It is actually like being back in a factory, just manufacturing, pushing things forward, assembly line. Being a designer and design team is like being on an assembly line, just trying to like push things a little bit forward, because you don't actually have the space to really like say, oh, I really redesigned the website. And it's all about bringing in different forms of technology to the space. I'm sorry, it's just like, that's reality of the workplace for most of the students. The talented ones might end up in a big company and have all the fun and go down the fun slides that they have at Google. But most of them will end up in a place where it is just pushing it forward like an assembly line of knowledge. So how do you prepare them for that? I'm sorry to make it such a rant.
Thank you so much for the comment. I've heard it partly a little bit understood. Maybe Jorge, you will help with the last question. Could you please repeat the last question, Jorge? What was the question?
I will summarize. What Johan is asking is that with the vision of people being trained for the work, right? They will probably end up in a similar situation as they were at school, right? Not being able to choose or not being able to grow from their inside if the final destination is a work placement. So I think the question is, how is this topic deal with in the programs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
Actual workplaces. Yeah, the reality of workplaces.
Yeah, the reality of workplace is like you end up like as you were in school. So how can these people be prepared to maybe make a difference in their workplace and be maybe an innovator or an instigator or a change agent? That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. The comment and the question is really a bit and deeper than I had on my slides, and there is like a start of a big dialogue. But there is some clue towards the answers, to many answers to the many questions I've heard from you. It's not only one question. There's a dream. So we all have the dreams which come from the real world we watch for. And we watch other people working, we watch other people, everything which we look around us inspires us to dream about something. And if we try to dream about doing something good, about just to do something, we come to the right areas, and we come to the right areas of opportunities where companies and their abilities and the industries might help us. It's not about ending in work at one of the positions which is daunting, which is the similar, like everything around us. It's about finding the way of the combination and creating maybe something new. There is an opportunity which has each of us to create a new industry, to create new industries, to create new opportunities and new things between these industries. Because dream is really flexible, and everything we have from the other side, like working places, like opportunities and abilities of the companies, like money, like investment and everything, we help them through design thinking, our students, to perceive only as tools in a facilitation kit. You can choose from many tools all around you to help you dream big and to help you follow your dream. But if you have a dream to be an engineer, for example, or if you have a dream about something which will lead you to the position of an enlightened engineer, of a very skilled person in a company, is not bad too, because you are really creative confident. You really have a creative confidence with it. You're happy with this. We would like to start from a dream, not from a not from a work, not from like doing something specific for the company which ask, or an institution which ask us. We'd like to start from a dream in order to give all the flexibility to the minds of our students in order to reconstruct and to recombine the world around them and to create some new world. Maybe this some new world will be on a specific position, but the person will be happy with it, creative, confident, and really looking for the new tasks come to them. It will be the best worker in this place. So this is the very small question to your very big answer to your very big question.
And I would like to add something. I think that the key here is to help them identify their voice and their dream soon, so they can, you know, actually build the path as soon as possible and avoid the journeys they don't want to go through. You know, like if they need to go through different journeys and fail the journey and realize that they need a different journey, they will have the time. You know, there's I don't know, my mother, for example, she realized she didn't want to do what she was doing for when she was 50. So she realized at 50, she realized she had to change. So the amount of time she had to, you know, to have these, let's say, self-realization was shorter than if I discovered it at the younger age. And I do believe that younger generations are very much willing to find their voice and find, you know, their connection with the world, and at a very early age. So I think that the key is, beyond whatever the dream is, helping them, you know, like find it soon, you know, as soon as possible. And it comes to my mind the topic of transgender identity. In the old times, you could only do the transgender process when you were an adult and had the money and had the confidence and went through a lot of things. Right now, kids are able to talk to their parents at a very young age, and they can enjoy like a identity for the rest of their life. So I don't know, I trust the younger generations. So I do feel they have this urge, right, to find identities, to find vocational things, and to change and to evolve doing very different things. Maybe they are able, more and more, they are able to go into maybe, I don't know, corporations at 20, and then at 30, they are already, you know, doing another thing completely different, which for our generation, for example, it took longer. So let's say we kind of wasted a little time. I don't know if you have any other remarks to close.
Yeah, I think I want to insist that the obstacles are really massive. I mean, maybe a middle class family, you know, or people who have education will help their children. But so many children who are in other circumstances, I've seen just, parents, because they don't know it better, put the dreams of their kids down, So the question is, why don't you do design thinking for parents, like to let them understand what their role is in this thing?
Next project.
Yes.
That could be a next project. That's really interesting.
Thank you for joining us in the Dreaming the Strategy of Design Thinking Center. It's a great idea. We put it close to our heart in order to make it so. Thank you. Just one add-on. To my mind, what we do is not a scalable thing, because we've had a lot of talks with teachers and with schools directors. Can we put it in education inside the institution? And my answer is no. So it's all about post-institutional. It's not scalable. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your questions. Great discussion. Sorry, Katya, to stall your minutes.
Thanks to you.